Welcome back to the channel. My name is Deborah, aka the Sunset Girl Creates, and today we're gonna do a whip and chat using crochet. So I'm gonna crochet while we chat. I am using my lighted crochet hook in the size, I think it's 5.0, 5.5, okay. Letter I think that's what that means. But it's a 5x5. It's from Yarn Story. I have a package of them that I got that came. Some are crochet light. I have crochet light too that I actually bought, so I have a full set of the lighted crochet hooks. Today we'll be using Comfy Cotton Blend by Lion Brand, and Stained Glass is the name of this yarn, and it is a 3. This one is a 7 ounce, 200 grams, or 392 yards, or 352 meters if you like metrics. So that's what we'll be using today. We will be doing our article for Mosaic Art Projects to try at home, and that's from December 19th, 2020. So I'm really excited to be able to sit here and crochet with you today. I thought about going back in and doing the silhouette because my arm is starting to feel better, but I thought I'd give it one more day. I think it's better to give it that extra day time to heal before I start using it full on, so I can hold my shoulder next to my body and I don't move that left shoulder when I'm crocheting. So this is something I can do when I'm sitting here in the evening and my shoulder's hurting. I can sit here and crochet because I know that I have nothing else to do, and I can keep my shoulder still. So yesterday was one of the days we chose to stay inside. I got about half, oh excuse me, my eye itches. I got about half of the diamond painting done section that we started yesterday, as well as we watched some Ice Road Truckers and then turned to Dangerous Catch. So we watched some Dangerous Catch just last night. That was a lot of fun. It's kind of a sad episode right now. One of the main fishermen are getting prepared to pass away. My husband knew that that was going to happen. He kind of told me, so I've kind of been like waiting for it to happen. I'd never seen the series before, so he quit telling me different tidbits about it so that he doesn't ruin it for me anymore. I'm excited to kind of see what happens with the ship once he does finally pass on. I've not seen the show, so how it goes with his sons and fishing and all of that, because both his sons are on the boat. One is a deckhand and the other one is a deckhand greenhorn. It's like his second season, but he's still doing bait. So but he is capable of doing other things. Josh also helps his dad watch on boat watches and driving the boat when he's sleeping and different things. So Josh does do a lot for his dad. His younger brother, who is the deckhand, lazy, wants everything given to him. He worked hard to get his full share, and once he got his full share, he figured because he was the father of the captain, he didn't have to do anything. He could leave early, he could come on deck late, you know, things like that. Things that kids just kind of sometimes take advantage of, thinking and doing different things that they want to do. you know, so yeah, it's interesting. Uh, it's really interesting. I got a call last night um, from two little ones. A little girl named Carly and a little boy named JJ. My grandchildren called. So fun to talk to them. Um, my granddaughter's having a few issues, so as grandma, part helper with great grandma to kind of help with the kids. Sometimes they support what she's doing and what she's telling the kids, and I really support the fact that she lets me be involved, right? Since my daughter kind of stepped away, I kind of stepped into that position to kind of help. My daughter walked away from her children, and then she had them legally taken away from her in custody court. Um, she hasn't fulfilled any of her child support. She doesn't call her children like she's supposed to. She's not made any effort to have but one visitation in 2.5 years. My grandson doesn't even know his mom at all. As far as he's concerned, mom died when dad died. And he said that. She was on the phone and grandpa told him to go talk to his mom. And he goes, why? My mom's dead. Why should I talk to her? So he doesn't associate his mom at all. I know that when we were at court last, and of course I was there, I've been through every step of this with Kay. It started out not so good, but it ended up working out as a good partnership between the two of us. So we had to talk through a few things with my granddaughter before we could get on with the fun conversation. So I had to start out kind of after not talking to them for about a month and a half because I was sick and they had some issues, and so I had to start the conversation off having a little discussion with my granddaughter. She's 7, so she's starting to understand when you talk to her, and she knows what things mean, but you know, I kind of see her sometimes, like, we were having a conversation and towards the end she just kind of like got a blank stare on her face. It's almost scary because it's something similar I've seen from my daughter. So we'll just have to see what happens. But anyways, we ended up having a really great conversation after that. She really wants to learn to crochet, so we've made a little deal that when she does better with what she is working on right now, she can learn to crochet, and Mima will send her everything she needs to learn to crochet. And being a crocheter since I was 8 years old, and she'll probably on her birthday is what I'm going to send her, which is in February. If she hasn't completed what we've asked her to do by then, I will send her a nice set of crochet hooks and the yarn that I've been holding for her. She chose this yarn out when we were in Texas on one of my visitations to see the kids, and she just loves the yarn. I've made her a little shawl out of it, but I saved the rest for her. So I'll be sending those out to her. Hold on. This is a triple, this is a double, okay. Just making sure that I'm keeping my pattern right on the next row. Sometimes at the beginning of a row, going from triple to double, I have to pay attention for a minute at what I'm doing so that I don't wrap the yarn twice. So my pattern is, it starts out with the chain row, and then I put a double crochet and then a triple crochet, and I do the double, triple 4 times. And then at the end, when I do the next double crochet after the triple, then I'll start over again with the row of single crochet, double crochet, triple 4 times. And for the bottom cushion, I'm doing that repeat 3 times. I'm on the 3rd time now. And for the top cushion, I do 4 repeats. So the top section of this color is done. This one will be done today. And if you give me a minute, I'll show you the yarns that I'll be using for the other side, because they're 2 colors. So the first one, and each repeat will rotate a different color. This one is it's also I think it's a 3 or a 4. Where is the symbol? Yeah, it says to use a 5.5. It's a 4. It's really hard to see on the back of the panel. So it's a 4 right there. Okay, and it's all cotton. I'm using 100% cotton on this. This is a softer cotton. It's called I Love This Cotton. Super soft, super savings. It comes from Hobby Lobby. And I ordered this online, and I bought big bunches at a time so I'd have multiple skeins of one color. This one's 3 ounces, 85 grams, and 153 yards. So I have 3 of these, right? And this color is called Cotton Candy. So it has a really light pastel-y pink in it, a white, a nice purple, and a green, which goes with the purple in this color. So we pulled the purple from there. We're pulling purple into both of these so that they pull back to the purple that's in the Lion brand. This one is Sugars and Cream. So I have all different kinds of cotton. I have cotton that I got over in the UK when I was visiting the UK. I have cotton from Sugar and Spice, which is Joanne's brand. It's it's Yarnspirations. Sorry, it's yarnspirations.com. It's also 3 ounces, 85 grams, which is a little bit more. It has 150 yards in it. It is a 4 as well. It does take a 5 or a 5.5. It actually calls for a 5 on the crochet hook, but I'm using a 5.5 because it wanted a little less tight. So I wanted a really loose fitting, because I'm going to put it over some outdoor pillows. So I don't want it to be super soft. Super big. I want it to be open and airy so that it dries fast if it gets wet. This one's called Beach Ball Blue, and it has a lavender in it. It has a purple, a white, and an aqua. So we'll be using these 2 colors on one side and this color on the other. So see how the colors go together? I really like how they mesh together. They look good together. They pull from each other, so each one pulls from each one. And that was really the goal when coming up with the colors for this one. I didn't really think about it much when I was working on mine. Mine are all done and on the chair. And I love switching sides depending on what kind of mood I'm in, which is a lot of fun. I really like the fact that I can sit here and crochet, or I can go outside and crochet. And it's relaxing, right? Because right now, it's really just getting difficult for me to lug the diamond painting in and out of the house. I think if I'm going to be working on a diamond painting that is not necessarily needing the bigger light pad to lay flat or lay across, I may take that off. It's a little bit heavy comparatively, so I'm trying what I can to just ensure that things are not too heavy for me to carry now. So it's really important that a lot of people think through a lot of things, but I have to remember, not only am I thinking about what I want to do, but what can I'm trying to save. I pulled out of my loops, and I just wanted to make sure that I was able to pull back through them and reinsert without having to take the whole stitch out. Now it really doesn't matter because doing this stitch doesn't take but a second to do. I can do this full repeat in about an hour and a half when I'm not doing anything. So like if I was just sitting here and crocheting and watching TV, I can probably get this whole thing done in one night. I used to do a lot of crocheting all day long when I was a housewife. Kids were in school, so I always had a crochet project on the hook. And yes, it is on the hook. If you're doing knitting, it is on the needles. So there's a difference. So when you hear somebody say they have a project that's already on the needles, they're talking about knitting. If they say that they have a project already on the hook, then that means they're using crochet. Now I've heard a lot of people try to intermix the two and try to just say I have things on the needles, and they really mean the hook. So I'm very particular on is it phonetics? No, it's phonetics. Phonetics, is that what it's called? Phonics, phonetics. I think it's phonetics. It's where wordplay, you want to make sure that you have the right word for what you're trying to portray. So I know it's not phonics. I know it's not phonics. I can't remember what it's called, but I really am very particular on that. Things need to be right. As much as I like to be perfect, I like a flaw somewhere. So like on mine, I skipped a step in one spot. Skipped a stitch. Yeah, that's not smart. Makes it difficult when you're trying to sew together and you're missing a stitch. Yeah, and it was close to the end, and I actually didn't see it until I was sewing it together, to be honest. But I like it when I have an error in somewhere, and a lot of times it'll be somewhere really small where people can't see it, because I'm telling you, if it was really noticeable, a missing stitch, by just looking at it as I looked at it. I look at things with a critical eye when I'm looking at my crochet. I'm very particular with my blankets especially. I did find my blanket pattern. Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to get this one done as fast as possible because I want to start being able to I want to be able to I want to be able to work on this blanket. So in order to work on this blanket, I have to, I'm trying to get to the top of the article because it is a free pattern that I found on Ravelry, and I clicked the link to the lady's blog. And it's felted buttons, colorful crochet patterns, and the actual pattern is called the Illuminations Blanket. It's a free pattern, and I'm trying to see if I can find a good blanket for you to see a good picture. So it's going to look like this. That's the pattern itself. It's the illumination blanket. And there's an interesting stitch in here, and that's why I thought that I would love to do it. It's something that's used in the herringbone pattern. This isn't a herringbone pattern itself. It is a ripple kind of pattern. However, it has this interesting, and she made it with Shep's cotton. And I'm not making it with cotton, I'm making it with wool. And so the pattern is an intermediate, and they ask for 32 colors. I'm not using 32 colors. I'm going to go through and do it. They call for a 3.5 F hook, so I probably will be doing it though with a 4.0 because I think that's the smallest of, yeah. So I have a 4.0. Mine will be slightly a little looser, which is kind of what I want. I'm not going for the exact dimensions that she has. Her dimensions on the finished with the border will be 44 inches by 59 inches or 112 centimeters by 150 centimeters. By using the 4.0, the F, the 4.0, I'm trying to see if it'll come in and not be blurry. There we go. Okay, I hope you can see it. It's kind of blurry, but I think that's the best it's going to be in this front on view. There is a special stitch. It is a special shell with a cluster, but what you have to do is you're going to be drawing through and doing a long double crochet. So I'm trying to get it so you can kind of see what the long double crochet looks like. So if you look at this picture, see right here where it shows this really long double yarn? That's because your stitch is up here, but they're going down a row below inside the last shell, last cluster you made, and now you're going to have that interesting effect with that additional texture added to it. And I'm really excited because I love doing the long double crochet, right? I think it's fascinating. I think it's just wonderful. It's a very small ripple, so I'm really excited about that. It's not a real big ripple that, you know, because it's kind of a ripple, it's kind of not. It's just the way you're doing it. So it kind of looks like a ripple, but it's not. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the blanket. And I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to run and get the yarn so you can see what the yarn. Okay, so I'm back. So it came, this yarn came from Yarn Cafe Creations. I did a pair of socks with their yarn, and it was just amazing. And so I went ahead and ordered their yarn with the, it's a slithering is the area that it came from. So, and it's Hogwarts. So yarn.cafe.creations.com, or you can find them on Ravelry.com. So it came with a whole bunch of minis. So this is the first 4 minis that I have. So they're little mini hanks. So what I have to do is I have to spin them into cakes. So when I say I've got to spin yarn, I'm actually, and this is 2 different companies from what I'm seeing. So it is Dragonhorn Yarns and Cafe Creations. So there's 2 different ones. They all have their own different names. So I have a whole bunch of these minis that came, see, they're just a bunch of minis. And so I don't have 33 colors. I think I have 24 colors that I'll be using in mine. And so here's the next one. And then I still have more. I told you there were like 24 of them. Okay, and here's 4 more. And so it was kind of interesting. It was nice to be able to every day in the month of December open up a new yarn, right? And I got to open each one of these. So there's the 24. That's the last of the 24. And then on the 25th, you get a whole hank. And this one is lower fingering. It's 85% superwashed merino wool and 19% cotton or nylon. And it's got 430 yards and 100 grams. And this one's for Gryffindor. So that's the yarn that I got the full hank. So what I'll be doing, instead of doing 33 colors, I will do the 4 rows of each of these, and then I'll do 4 rows of this, and then I'll do 4 rows of this one, and then 4 more rows of this one. So I'm going to build up to where I have, you know, plenty of yarn to go through. I want to make sure that I measure my yarn because I want to make sure I have enough in the full hank to be able to go through the whole pattern. So I don't want to use any more, and I might do 4 and 2 so I make sure I have plenty, and that's probably what I'll do, because I'm not sure that this, I will want to do it. I'll probably do a test once I get it together and see how many rows I can get first out of one hank, and then know how many, because I'll cut however many rows I get in this in half and use half for this. That way I have enough to go through all the way through. And I'll continue till all the colors are used, and I'll continue until all the yarn is gone. So I want to see, and I have a feeling that I might get about 6 rows out of each hank of these small ones. So they're called mini hanks, and I have tons of them laying around the house. But this is for that blanket, so this is the next project that I'll be working on. I'm not sure how much you'll see on camera, because crochet is one of those things that I always have something either on the crochet hooks or the knitting needles as much as possible, similar to having a diamond painting going at all times. So I actually have more than one project on needles right now. I think I have 3 projects on needles, and I have 1 on the hook. So I have 1 crochet and 3 knitting going on. This one's going to be crochet. I don't want to do knitting because I prefer the stitches that I found under crochet, and the blanket pattern is the one that I liked. And the nice thing about having to be able to knit or crochet, I can really choose which one I want to be working on. Oops, I dropped one. I better put it back. I lost a hank. I lost a hank. Don't want to do that. Okay, so that's probably going to be one of my evenings, is caking these up. I might take a day and show you how I cake up. Caking up is not easy, I'm telling you. I have the ball winder, I have the cake winder, but I have to put them over my knees so I can have the hank open enough to be able to pull around. So I haven't done them. It's been a while since I've done a mini, so that's going to be fun to do. And so I'll be putting hanks together. Once I have hanks together, it'll be a little easier, and I'll weigh each hank. And keep track of how much each one weighs. And I want to see how much each row weighs. That's going to be able to tell me what I'll do is I'll do the chain, and I'll weigh the chain. I'll weigh the amount of yarn that's left once the chain is created, and then I'll do a full row, and then I'll weigh it again, and I'll know how much each row weighs. And that's an approximation. You know, when you crochet, I am very good at keeping a very normal tension straight across. So usually my weights will come in right about the same each time I do it. So this will be an interesting project to start next. So there's some stuff I need to make sure I do so that I can make sure everything extends out. So I have to do a total weight of the minis and then a total weight of the hank, and I can do some math and figure it out. So sometimes it's having to do math when you have a pattern. So when you're working a pattern, and I don't think that we're going to get to the article today. We've been doing a lot of chit-chatting, and I think I dropped my hook on the floor. Where did my hook go? Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. My hook was sitting hiding from me. It's not supposed to do that. Did we go all the way to the end? No, we got one more stitch over here. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about what's coming up, and I know, okay, so I'm at the end of the row, and you always have to get into the top chain, and if you don't make your top chain a little looser than the other chains, this is the only time that you try to go away from your normal tension, because you want to ensure that you have a little bit bigger. Doesn't have to be a lot, but remember, you have to come through that chain and grab those 2 loops, right, when you come through. Because if you don't do your chain and you don't pick up your chain at the end of the row, you'll start having a Christmas tree or a triangle, because what you're doing, and it's going to be a lopsided triangle, right? And it's really not, because one side, so it's going to be kind of up and down like this. This side will be right, this side will be wrong, this side will be wrong, this will be right. It's kind of like that. So you want to make sure that you're picking up that last stitch. If you want some information on tips and tricks on crocheting, I'm happy to put a video together for you guys on tips and tricks, and we'll see what we can get done, right? Because I think it's really kind of fun just to kind of sit here and chat with you and crochet. So maybe we'll put a crochet WIP and chat in once a week, and either crochet or knitting, depending on what the project I'm working on at the time is. But we can put together some WIP and chats, and I can give some tips and tricks to crocheting as we go. I would love to be able to sit here and crochet or knit once a week with you. So maybe we'll do that. And I really appreciate you guys and all your flexibility as I'm trying to get through all of the Social Security and trying to maintain a pain level that I can live with. It's hard to say that eventually you get used to a certain pain level. So if I'm at a 3 or a 4, it's a good day. 3 or 4 means that it's really well kept up. I'm sorry, my hair keeps getting caught under my arm. And so right now, because I'm getting ready to go see the doctor on the 26th, which is in 13 days, I'm trying to keep the pain level at a higher level because I want him to see the pain that I go through on the days that are bad. So this month is kind of a rough month. It's not the month that I chose to have this appointment in. Social Security has done that. I filed back in February, and it's taken me this long to get the adjudicator, and it's taken me this long to get these appointments done. And so once this appointment's done, I really will just be waiting for the adjudicator to make a decision. Yeah, I mean, I just sent paperwork back to him confirming that I would be at the doctor's appointment. You have to send it back. The nice thing about sending it back to confirmation to Social Security is I'm also able to put a waiver in for my results to be sent to my actual doctor, so that they can see what the Social Security doctors are saying, and see if it goes with what they've been saying. I know that I'm going to have to go through some x-rays. I'm surprised they're not putting me through a CT or an MRI. Those two are the ones that typically pick up muscles and nerves, whereas x-rays are bones. So I'm not sure where the x-rays come. I think they come because they're trying to check to see if maybe arthritis could be an issue. I have a lot of back spasms. I have a lot of back issues. And it's just spasms, and it's just pain that goes through my body. I'm getting pretty used to it. I would say I'm pretty used to it, but then when the pain gets like it has been for the last week and a half, which is up there in the 8s and the 9s, you know, I used to think of my pain level a lot different than when I think of my pain level now. I think as we get older and as we get through things and we learn to deal with pain at different levels in our lives, and trust me, I've had plenty of practice at it. If there's a klutzy girl and there's a way to klutzy it out, I have. And if there's a way to mess up some cartilage or something or bruise something, I'm really good at it. Never breaking bones. I only broke one bone, and it was a very small bone in my foot, and it was when I went to Scotland. And I was at a conference, and it was in the Ritz-Carlton, and I was coming down some stairs, and there was some water on it. I wasn't sure. I missed it. I didn't. My foot must have slipped on it, and I had a big old, it swelled immediately to this huge bulb on the top of my foot, as well as the foot swelling. They took me to the emergency room. Over there, it's free medical, even for non-UK citizens, or Scottish citizens, I should say. Scotland is still part of the UK. It's not the main part of London, but it is a separate continent that the Queen still owns. So it's got the same immigration rules. It's got a lot of the same of everything. But anyways, they did take me to the hospital, and they came back, and after the x-rays, there was no broken bones, just a nice sprain, right? Okay, I can deal with that. And as the trip goes on, okay, I'm in Scotland. It's the very first day of the conference. There's no way I'm going home. I even suffered through the pain going around Scotland and touring Scotland because I'd never been there, and didn't care how much pain I was in. I was gonna watch it. I was gonna go travel. I was gonna go walk around. I was gonna go do everything you do in Scotland. Some of the most gorgeous museums. Oh my God. Some of the most gorgeous artwork I've seen. I mean, I saw cloth from many hundreds of years ago, you know, thousands of years ago, from many centuries before. It was just amazing to see a museum in a different country, right? Because you don't really think about what goes on in those other countries much, right? We don't really, in the United States, think much about it. I don't. But anyways, so I ended up coming home, and I had a blood clot the size of a golf ball in the top of my foot that had to be removed, and I spent a month on the couch. And within that time, the pain started getting really bad. They couldn't figure out what was causing it, and they did an MRI and found a broken bone in one of the very smallest bones in your foot. Now, I've had sprains. I've had to have surgery and cartilage removed, but nothing, excuse me, I'm going to reach over and turn on my fan. Nothing can prepare you for a broken bone. Broken bone is, I was crying, it was that painful. I don't cry, right? I'm not a big crier, but there's nothing wrong with crying. You can cry if you have the emotion. I'm just not a big crier. So, yeah, it was a painful month. I gotten on a boot and everything. I ended up having to have a month off of work. And trust me, it wasn't a fun month because I didn't get off the couch. I laid on the couch for many days. So yeah, that was an experience. So, you know, there's different experiences in life and we go through different things, right? But the nice thing about coming back to it all is that you know you have a place to live and you know you have a place to lay your head at night, right? And for me, crafts are just an extension of that, right? Crafts let me relax. Crafts let me make beautiful things. And you don't have to have an artist's mind to do crafts. There's plenty of articles out there, right? There's plenty of articles. I'm sorry, I pull my legs up because it helps my back. There are plenty of sites out there that have patterns, right? And they'll tell you what yarn and what color to use. I mean, the whole thing's right there. The designer lays it all out for you, right? They want you to be able to do what you need to do, right? And I'm just pulling mine because my loose stitch got really tight when I turned. And I don't like it to be tight because when I come back around for the next round, it's going to be really hard to get in and do a final stitch. So yeah, I think when it comes to crafts, we've gone through articles and they've said how diamond painting can be relaxing, and diamond painting is not the only craft that will help you with feeling a sense of community. Because if you go on YouTube, there's a whole community of crocheters out there. There's a whole community, a whole community of knitters out there. There's a whole community of people who use the silhouette. How do you think I learned when I got my silhouettes? Because I got my silhouette back in the day. That was one of the first things I got when I moved in here with my husband, was the silhouette. I now have two since then. But I learned how to use it. I learned how to use the program. I learned how to knit. And I'm telling you, knitting was not easy for me. I've tried several times in my life. And it wasn't until I found Marley Bird on YouTube, and she did a series where she taught her mom to knit, right? And so I was feeling a lot of the same pains that her mom was going through, and I was kind of able to go through those same pains with her mom, and get through it, and in the end be able to knit. I can knit beautiful sweaters. I have gorgeous sweaters that I have knitted. I've got one I'm trying to get finished now. It's really just finishing the cuff on one and doing the sleeve on the other side. I will eventually pull that out. I'd like to have it done before it gets cold. It may be one of the projects that I pull out and do a little bit here and a little bit there on it. It does take up a lot of room in my living room, so most of the time I prefer not to use it. And I guess that's why, because I have enough crafts out here that pulling that out here and leaving it out here really makes a cluttered area because of the bag that I have it in. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm not sure. I gotta find a way to have it so it's out there so I remember it's something I need to do. I actually just need to write down all of my open projects that I want to continue working on and kind of see where I'm at and see what's left to finish on them. I do have 2 diamond paintings hanging. One was started, one was not. They all have their release papers on them. One was started, and then I just couldn't wait to get started with the minions, so I kind of hung it up and put it away, and out of sight, out of mind, right? It's really not, because it sits where all my diamond paintings are, so I see it when I go to do all of my diamond painting, right? And so I know it's there. I know it needs to be done. I still have the old shoe house that needs to be done. It's sitting on the table. It doesn't get a whole lot of love, especially now that my mom and I aren't and a sister, we're not having family calls on Sundays. I used to use those as days to ensure that I at least had some work done on it. I need to start going in there and really working on it. It needs to get done. We can't do that until we're done with our silhouette. So tomorrow I will do a video and continue our silhouette series. This will be put under a crochet WIP Chat, and we're going to start. Today is what day of the week? It's Friday. So every Friday we'll have a crochet WIP Chat. So Fridays are our crochet WIP Chats. We will continue to have our WIP Chats with diamond painting. And I'm probably just gonna set up this playlist as knitting and crochet, because I'll probably go between knitting and crochet depending on what project I'm working on and what project needs to be done, right? Oh shoot, I'm trying to find my stitch. And I split the yarn. This cotton is really easy to split the yarn when you're trying to get that last stitch. And so this is why it's important to ensure that that is loose, because you want to be able to pop in between the two and get it so you've only got 2 stitches on. See, I didn't pick it up right because it's not just two loops. You have to have a loop on the bottom to hold it in place, right? So you have to get right between the bottom one and the extra yarn, and it's not working. But I will finish that because I think I only have two rows to go and this one's done. So with that said, I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you liked this video, a thumbs up would be great. I'm sorry we didn't get to the article. I just had obviously a lot to say. Crocheting, I could talk a lot more and a lot more hints and tips and tricks as we talk. So on Fridays, we'll now have, and I'll name it the Friday Crochet and Knit Alongs. So I don't think alongs, I'm just going to do as WIP Chats, right? There are Friday Crochet or Knit WIP Chats, so I'll put them there so that we know what they are. And I'm going to start putting my schedule together, because I think what I want to do is eventually have it so that we do like diamond painting one day, and then we do a different craft another day. Then we do diamond painting one day, and then we do another craft another day. Just so that we kind of, I make sure that I'm doing multiple crafts at a time. And then I'm getting multiple projects done at a time, and I'm not just concentrating on one project and not the others. So with that said, I want to thank you all for your time today. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be awesome. I'm really excited on Fridays to be able to sit here with you, let you see my face, and communicate with you. I think it's going to be a really great addition to the channel. So with that said, I want to thank you all for everything. And if you like this video, as I said, a thumbs up would be great. If you don't, a thumbs down is fine. I understand that. Sometimes people don't like something you've said or something you've done, or I don't like crochet, so I don't want to watch crochet, but I prefer diamond painting, that kind of thing. That's why my channel is called The Sunset Girl Creates. I create. I don't do just diamond painting. I just don't do crochet. And it's really hard because I thought about working towards becoming a master knitter. But I think what I want to do is, since my full love has always been crochet, I really want to take that to the next level. So once I get the Social Security all worked out, then I'm going to work on a plan. I'm going to put a plan together that allows me to work towards becoming that certified master crocheter. I want to be able to share my tips and tricks, but I don't want it all to be a crochet channel. I don't want it to be a knit channel. I don't want it to be a diamond painting. I like being in a little bit of all the communities. I need to get back out there and get some of my yarny videos back on my YouTube. I went through a phase where diamond painting was everything. When I start a new craft, it's something that's new, exciting, and I do it over and over and over and over and over again, right? It's a good way to learn, good way to practice, and that's what I do, is I spend the time practicing getting good. Once I'm good at something, then I can start bringing other crafts into the mix. There's a lot of crafts out there that I haven't done in a long time. Paint by numbers is one of them. I used to do that a lot. I used to do color by numbers. When I was talking to my granddaughter, she was interested in color by numbers, so I thought maybe we'd get a couple books and get her a nice set of crayons to where she has, or a nice set of colored pencils that she has a variety of colors, and she can do a color by number. She also wants to crochet, so she's going to be like her Mima. She loves diamond painting. We were talking about once they get back from all their summer travels, because they do travel a lot. Their grandmother takes them on the summer and they travel, and they went to see the Grand Tetons and they saw the Grand Canyon. So the Grand Tetons is something I've always wanted to do, so I can't wait to be able to have that opportunity to do that as well. But with all that said, I want to thank everyone for coming. If you would like to be part of the Sunset Girl Creates family, we would love to have you. It would be great to have you join our family. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down there. It doesn't cost you anything. You have no obligation, but it would be great to have you be part of our family and subscribe below. If you want to know every time I upload a video, there is a little bell icon below next to it as well that you can select, and it will let you know every time I upload a video. So with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. I'm looking forward to our Friday crochet alongs, WIP Chat-Crochets, whatever we want to call them. I'll work on a name and I'll let you know next Friday what I come up with. You'll probably see it sooner because it will be on the channel. So with that said, I want to thank you all for coming, and I'm wishing you a great day wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.